Start here, page 6. Just getting to know you a little bit. Says let's work together, collect data, and explore some statistical questions. Which one doesn't belong? So there's 4 options there, 4 questions listed. Just a personal opinion. Which one do you think doesn't belong? And be ready to defend that. Be ready to tell me why. Okay, so read those 4. I'll let you read them on your own. Which one stands out to you to be different and why? Faye, what do you think?
I said question A because it is the only answer that says like what kind of chips in it, like potato chips.
Okay, that one is the only one that says actually potato chips. And maybe the other type of chips other than potato. Okay. Anybody else? Georgia.
C, because it's the easiest one.
C, you think that is the easiest one. Now, what do you notice the difference between A and C? What type of answers are we going to get? What kind of answer are you going to get for A? A number. A number, whereas the one Georgia picked, what type of chips are there? I don't think that one's going to be a number response. Okay, so keep those in mind as well. Noah, you had your hand up as well. Which one are you picking?
Question B, because it's like preference, and the rest of them has like a set answer, I guess.
You said D as in dog?
Yeah.
Because of the preference. Okay? Anybody choose B? That's the only one I haven't heard. You-
It's more of like, I guess, like an average compared to like all of them.
Yeah, that one's going to take a little research probably. It's an average, how many chips are in each bag. So again, you can make a case for any of them, but you got to be able to defend it. Why? Why did you pick that one? Okay, question number 2. Trey, would you read that, please?
Your teacher will assign you a set of 3 questions. Write another question of your own that will require data selected from the class to answer. For each of the 4 questions, write a survey question that will help you collect data from the class that can be analyzed to answer the questions. Ask the 4 survey questions to 15 classmates and record their responses to collect data. After collecting data, return your group. What is the question of your own that will require data collected from the class to answer?
All right, so I would like you to just come up with one on your own here. What is a question that you could ask your class that would require data, that would require some kind of information from them? So a lot of different options here you can come up with. So just write your own question there. Something you could ask your classmates. That'd probably be pretty easy to get data from. Top of the next page, it says, what are the 4 survey questions that you will ask your classmates? We are going to do this together, and I will tell you the first 3 questions. So number 1. On average, how many movies in the theater did each student watch this summer? On average, write this one down, please. How many movies in the theater did each student watch this summer? So how many movies did you see in the theater? Question number 2. Does a class prefer to write on paper with or without lines? That's question number 2.
Wait, are we supposed to write what we prefer?
No, you're just supposed to write these questions
Okay,
down.
yeah.
We will answer them together. So save room, you're gonna write 4 questions there. Question number 2 is, do you prefer to write on lined or unlined paper? Question number 3, how many seats are in the classroom? How many seats are in the class? All right, you guys wrote down a 4th question. Anybody got one they'd like to share? Georgia.
What is the average number of chocolate chips and chocolate chip cookies?
Holy smokes. Average number of chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. Yikes. We'll see. Okay, on the back here, we're just going to ask these questions. We'll go around the room, filling in everybody's response. What?
Was I supposed to write a question that has something to do with the room?
No, I guess we'll just see. Start with you, Jordan. I'm going to have you answer all 4 of them. How many movies did you watch in a movie theater?
Like 4 or 5.
Which one are you choosing?
4.
Lined or unlined paper?
Line.
How many seats are in the classroom?
I guess 24.
And how many chocolate chips do you think should be in a chocolate chip cookie?
4.
Vicente,
3, line, 32, and 5.
how many? 5? Connor,
2, line, 36, 7.
Noah,
1, line, 33. Oh, and
20?
20. Well, he was like little.
Oh, okay. Faye, movies you saw in
I
this.
don't watch any movies.
That's fine.
I prefer mine. At least 31 from these tables.
Chocolate chips?
I don't like chocolate chip cookies, so I'm saying
0. Mira,
4. Line. 29. And 10.
Caleb. Nope, sorry. Timothy.
I'll go with 5, line, 25. 12.
Caleb.
And 2, line, 31, and 12 as well.
Jackson.
I watch
27. 15.
Amy,
3, blind, 27, 7.
Georgia,
Oh. 1, blind, 32, and 9.
Samantha,
5, 5, 24,
6. Berlin,
2, 9, 28,
everybody have those?
What about you, Mr. Miller?
What about me?
yeah.
I saw one movie in the theater. I prefer lined. There are 28 chairs with seating, these two, and my chair. So there's 29, 30, 31, there's 32.
Wait, there's a,
There's 3 stools on that one.
I thought it was just
And 23. I love me some chocolate chips and my chocolate chip cookie. Don't judge me, Georgia.
two. And you're giving Tom or Noah that. right?
Yeah, I had to go more than Noah. You don't get this shape by not liking chocolate. All right, summarize the data for each question in a sentence or two and share the results with your group. So we're going to summarize the results. Okay, so for question 1, what would you say? I don't need to actually figure out the average, but let's come up with one by kind of looking at the numbers there. Average number of movies watched by you guys in a theater is
Probably 2 or 3. 3?
2.5. You want to say 2.5? All right. In a sentence, the average number of movies watched in a theater this summer is, I'm going to say about, because I didn't figure it out exactly. I'll say about 2.5. Okay, question 2. What would you say on that one? The whole class prefers lined paper. Question 3. Now, how many answers should question 3 have? Yeah, if everybody was able to actually see every chair and count, should only be one answer. Number of chairs in this room is 32. Question number 4.
I say it's about like 8 or 9. Like the average.
Average number of chocolate chips we want in our cookie is? Are you guys good with 8? Probably gonna say about 8, because again, I didn't calculate it exactly. We could, not necessary. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our questions. Question number 1. Is that going to vary from person to person? Yeah. Okay, so that requires actually asking the person, and it's going to vary. Okay, the book will call that variability. It will vary from person to person. Question number 2. What did you say on that one? What's different about question 2?
There's only 2 options.
There are only 2 options. What else is different? Yeah, everybody was unanimous, but what else? What's the difference between 1 and 2 as far as what we wrote down in our boxes? One was numbers, one was classified as a category, words, right? One is data, or they're both data, but one is numerical, and one is in words. Okay, how about the next question? Everybody should have, so that one should not vary. Again, it would take a little research for you to just count and see every chair, but everybody's answer should have been the same. Okay, how about the question we wrote? Was that more like question 1, question 2, or question 3? Question 1. Okay, it's going to vary a little bit and still be numerical. Okay, so does the question you wrote best fit with question 1, 2, or 3? Question 1, why? Because it will vary and it's numbers. Okay, so write that in there for the last one. Question 1, because it will vary and it is numerical data, it is numbers. All right, bottom of question 8. We're not going to look this up, but I'm going to just see if you can come up with one. Maybe something you've heard talked about or seen on your social media feed. A statistical question that would be answered with numbers. Can you give me another example of something maybe you've discussed recently? Where somebody would give you an answer number.
This is a guess, but I think it would be like the percentage of rain or rain weather.
Yeah, what is the percentage of rain this week? Certainly numbers, numerical data. Let's go ahead and write that one down for number 1 on page 8. Chance of rain, weather forecast. Can you give me another example now that is not numerical, but is a category like line, unlined? Again, something you've talked about recently or seen recently. Anybody? Hot or cold? Maybe just the temperature in the school. Do you think it's hot or cold? Going to lunch. You're choosing options of food. Hot and cold is interesting because if you get more specific, it turns into numbers. But if it's just hot or cold, then that's certainly a category. All right, page 9, the summary. Every lesson has a pretty good summary here, some terms, maybe to highlight, if you have a highlighter, underline, star, or whatever. This is an important spot at the end of each lesson. Mira, would you read the top sentence, please, on page 9?
Statistics is about using data to solve problems and make decisions. There are 2 types of data.
And what are the 2 types?
Numerical data are expressed using a number. For example, to answer the question, how tall are students in this class, we would measure the height of each student, which would result in numerical data.
All right, so we talked about using numbers, numerical data. Okay, that's one type. Amy, what's the other type?
Categorical type. Are expressed using characteristics. For example, to answer the question, what brand of phones people use, you would survey several people and answer the results in one word.
All right, categories, categorical data. You have Verizon, Straight Talk, AT&T. That would be categories. The question that you ask determines the type of data you'll collect and whether or not there is variability. Okay, that means the numbers will vary. That's all that means, fancy word for it. In earlier grades, you learned that there is variability in data set if not all the values are the same. These are examples of statistical questions because they are answered by collecting data. Okay, statistical questions. You have to collect data. You have to ask everybody in the classroom. You have to get that information. What is the average class size at this school?
About
Okay, that would produce data, and they're not all the same, so it's going to have some variability. They're going to vary. Not every class is exactly the same. Your algebra classes that I have, this one has 13. Then I got one of 27 and 23. Yeah, my thoughts too. But those are high variability. What are some of the favorite colors of students in this class? Now it's not numbers, it's categories. And probably still going to be some variability. Not everybody's going to pick the same colors. So here are some examples of non-statistical questions because they are answered by collecting data that will not vary. Everybody's going to answer the same thing. How many students are on the roster for this class? Yes, it's numerical data. I don't have to do any research. I can look at my sheet and see there's 13. And it doesn't matter what Caleb thinks, there's 13 in it. I don't have to collect any data. And it's not going to vary. What color is my pen? Okay. That is categorical data. And there is no variability. Everybody can see that, well, unless they're colorblind, I suppose, but it's still red. It's not going to change the fact of what color that marker is, or pen. Okay, so hopefully now you can tell the difference between those four things. Okay, we just discussed them all. Difference between categorical and numerical. Difference between statistical and non-statistical. So the only thing I have for you for tomorrow is page 10, questions 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so to give you an idea how tomorrow will work, I'll make sure everybody's got the homework done. We will discuss the homework, and then you'll have a one-question warm-up on your iPad before we start lesson 2. So, plenty of time. You only got 3 questions. If it does say write a sentence, be sure it's a complete sentence, please. And that's it. When you're done with that, you may have free time on your iPad today with a lot of extra time. So 1, 2, and 3, page 10.